So as you guys can probably guess, I am ecstatic today. I love what ADA is doing right now. And not 30 minutes after I posted my first ADA video yesterday, it did exactly what we talked about. It exploded, it went on a very strong run. And in fact, it led ADA to being one of the best performers in the crypto market over the last 24 hours. But what's crazy about this is that this is probably not over. And there's a few signs that I want to show you guys in terms of what's about to happen. I'm Luckside. Welcome to the channel. If you guys are new or haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. Hit that bell again. It's free to do. It'll keep you updated anytime there's new content live here on the channel. So ADA basically woke up and chose violence yesterday. All right. If you guys remember, I think we were somewhere right down here in like this 61, 62 cent range when we filmed our first video in this liquidity gap, like we've talked about. And we've said many times that ADA does not like to live in here. It's either going to go down to the bottom of this or it's going to go up to the top. And ADA just exploded through the top. And in fact, over the course of the day, it almost set a new cycle high. It ran to 78.46. So this is a very strong move for ADA. And probably a lot of what we're seeing is still some of that FOMO in terms of the possibility of no capital gains tax on US crypto, because, you know, when we look across the market, you're still seeing XRP perform well. You're still seeing ADA perform well, Algorand, you're seeing HBAR perform well. So some of those ones that were named specifically in a few of those articles have been what people have been FOMOing into. Maybe it's a little bit of that. Maybe it's a little bit of just excitement surrounding some of the partnerships that have been announced in terms of Cardano. Maybe it's some of it possibly being used in the US government, whatever it may be. It has led ADA on this very explosive move. And as you guys can probably guess, my long position in terms of ADA has been doing incredibly well. It's up 1,286%. Again, if you guys are interested in trading on leverage, there is a link in the description below for Margex. Again, there's no KYC. You can earn up to $10,000 in deposit and trading bonuses. This was just a 10x long. Again, I opened this all the way back here at 32 cents or so. And you guys know I've talked about this for a long time. I'm long-term minded. I'm not closing these anytime soon because, again, the possibility that this run may continue is really being hinted at in a big way right now, which I'll get to in just a moment. Now, Bitcoin helped a lot yesterday across the market. Okay. Bitcoin had a good solid day, up 4%, looking very strong. This is despite another negative day in terms of institutional money. And this is showing you that retail is actually carrying a little momentum into the weekend. So we'll see what happens here, but this is a pretty good setup for a possible 100K run as we get into next week. Again, I don't know what's going to happen. We'll see how the week plays out. We'll see if institutional money decides to change trend from the last few days and start adding in a big way. It's 100% possible. But what's crazy about this is the ADA BTC chart is on a massive run right now. All right. We broke again the 800 sat range. We're really on a quest to this 1000 sat range like we had way earlier on in this cycle. So we're looking very good from that standpoint right now. And despite BTC's good day, what you're actually seeing is a huge BTC drop off in dominance. All right. Running from basically 61%, it actually dropped all the way down to 60%. So a 1% dominance shed. And why this is taking place is you're starting to see a lot of retail money begin to flow into alts. And this is a very key thing that people need to pay attention to. So USDT dominance, guys, has been dropping off significantly. We're kind of chopping here. And what some of this has to do with is the minting of $4 billion worth of USDT by Tether. And what they're doing is they're basically prepping for a next big surge in the market, a next big capital inflow, which is important because, again, that's what takes place during Altseason. That is what allows assets like ADA and many others to go on these big surges. But what I need to point out is we're still following trend, right? We're doing exactly what we've done from cycle to cycle to cycle. And this is very key because this is what leads us exactly into alt season. But I think the biggest indicator of all is we need to look at the total three. Now, for those that aren't familiar with what this is all market caps of crypto outside of BTC and Ethereum. So basically number 3 all the way down. And we've had a very important breach over the last 24 hours. I'll get to why that is in just a second here. When we look at the prior market cycle, you guys can see that in basically July of 2019, we had a nice spike, altcoins running, and we had the drop off. We had the subsequent recovery back in the early part of 2020, the year of the halving. We had the COVID crash. But then later on in the year of the halving, we actually had this cycle high breach here, right? We finally broke that. We kind of chopped around there. But in November is when we went bonkers and made this extension and breakout, leading us into alt season. This is when alt started to gain significant dominance versus BTC. This is when you started seeing those capital inflows hit the market. And we basically saw altcoins climb from about $90 billion worth of total market cap to over $1 trillion. All right. Now, fast forward to now. What we're seeing here is our local high, which was back in March. If you guys remember, we were running buck wild. The market was insane. We saw even ADA going on some insane surges at that time. And then we saw the cool down following that. Well, we have now had a breach here, similar to what we saw in the last market cycle. And the great news about this is as we're having this breach, ADA is very close to the price it was as we set this early cycle high. Okay. That's a very good sign. That means that even as the market has broadened and there have been more projects launched and there have been some ones that have kind of thinned out the capital that's here currently, ADA is very close to where it was at that point. So it hasn't really lost much. That's a good sign, right? People that called ADA dead and said it wasn't doing well, it's in the same spot it was then. That's really good because ADA performed very well early on. Now, what that means for this moment heading forward is that altcoins, if BTC can get up to like a $4 trillion market cap, altcoins are probably going to be on a quest to somewhere in that $6 to $7 trillion range themselves. And the great news about this is ADA is in fact gaining dominance across the crypto market, or in the crypto market in general, while this is all taking place. All right. So what we're seeing now is what may be the beginning of this alt season trigger, right? The signs are flashing. The warning lights are going off. Okay. I don't want to say this is your last chance, but this is that moment where you can really feel the shift taking place in the market, where you're really starting to see the optics increase, where you're seeing more people pay attention. Even my buddy yesterday I was sitting there and we were looking at the ADA chart. Let me show you guys what we were looking at. We were looking at the ADA chart on the hourly, and he was telling me, oh yeah, someone's going to sell this down right here. It was legit right here. He's like, oh yeah, someone's going to sell this down and put in a buy order at 64. And I'm looking at this thing. I'm like, it really looks like it's going to pop. It looks like it's about to break. And sure enough, here's the hourly candle that followed. I came back. I was like, dude, do you see what's happening right now? But this is an exciting time, guys. We're getting ready for some of the most exciting times in crypto. And I have to say, this has been such a fun journey so far with you guys. And I hope that people have had the resilience to stick around and make it through the hard times, because that only makes you more hardened and battle tested as we get into the times where you have the next hardest decision of your life. And that is when to take profit. So I appreciate you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts below. Will this continue? But I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care.